Hello there. So this one is called Duende, and I've come across this Spanish word with reference to dance, but I realise this relates to many more things, pretty much all creative activities really. And I've been reading the wonderful Lucinda Riley in one of her books, and she was speaking about life as a gypsy in Spain, in the southeast of Spain, way back in the 1800s. And she's talking about a girl who has a passion for dance, and eventually she enters into competitions. And the thing about her is that she's literally unstoppable in the dance, because her unbending intent takes her out of the everyday 3D perceptions of the mind. And this is actually something that dance is very famous for doing. It's a particularly suitable way to do this, and to enter that liminal space where you are so completely immersed in what it is that you're doing that everything else disappears. And that's when the Duende happens, which is a kind of a magical state of being whereby you completely transcend your conventional limits about what's possible. This is something that I've been grateful to experience dancing myself for most of my life, and most especially when over 30 years ago I encountered Five Rhythms dance, and it was at a men's shamanic Five Rhythms dance residential with 23 men, and we danced for 2.5 hours, twice, sometimes even 3 times a day. Remember the first time dancing 2.5 hours without a break, it was like absolutely shattered. Could I possibly get up after drinking a load of water and continue to dance even for another 10 minutes? And what everyone else was, so I just stepped up, got into the rhythm of the music, and the next thing I knew, another 2.5 hours had gone by. So in my very first experience of working with Five Rhythms, I actually encountered and experienced this state of Duende, whereby I had completely transcended the limits that I was trying to impose on myself with my belief systems about what I thought I could and couldn't do. So I want to bring this subject to your awareness, and it does work for anything. I'm learning it's working the same with singing, and I'm discovering that the more that I sing, I do a weekly singing group on Monday afternoons. I go most weeks, and the more I do that, the more I'm connecting with my voice. But of course, what's really done it for me is having worked with the mantras since the end of 2020 all the way through up to now. So that's a long time, isn't it? Yeah, that really is. That's 4.5 years of working with the mantras. And when I sing the mantras or sound the mantras, I don't just sing in a normal singing voice. I actually vibrate the sound. I don't know how to explain this to people, but if you watch either of my 2 films, Mantra Magic, you can see what I'm referring to. And it's something that happens quite automatically when I become familiar with using my voice and singing. And it's very powerful because my entire body is resonating with the sounds rather than just simply projecting a sound out of my throat, which is what one would do in a more conventional circumstance. So Duende is one of the most delightful experiences about being human. Of course, athletes and sports men and women are really well known for being able to access these states. But to be honest, you can access it in so many states. I recently realised I slipped into Duende while I was cooking on my own in the kitchen, just flitting from work surface to work surface. I turned the whole thing into a dance, picking things up, putting them down, slicing, pouring, frying, whatever. So what I would say is, It's about letting go of the mind. That's actually what happens in these states. So they're transcendent states whereby we leave behind thoughts and opinions. And there are many times when I go onto an ecstatic dance floor, when at first I'm in my mind, I'm really aware I'm in my mind, there's all this chatter going on, and then suddenly the DJ will put on a tune and I'm just lifted out of that realm, and suddenly there I am, which is what we call as ecstatic. Ecstatic literally means ex-stasis. I think it's probably Latin. Ex is out and stasis is stand. It's literally standing outside of yourself. So anything you can find. Archery is another great one. Playing the violin. Anything that gives you painting, drawing, anything that gives you the opportunity to lose yourself in the medium, in the activity, in the now. That's ultimately what we're doing. We're losing ourselves into the now, and by losing ourselves in terms of our relationship with our rational mind, we find ourselves by this relationship we're creating with the activity. And so I guess there are some key words. It really helps if you love what you do, and it really helps if you're passionate about what you do. These two states are very, very helpful. And some people get this through walking, through climbing. Some people get it through exploring new places where they've never been before, and their entire attention is focused on where they are and what's going on. And one of the things shamans love to do is go on a plant walk. And unlike me, who I've just been moving and speaking to you, I would be in silence and I would slow right down, and the slowing right down causes us to become aware of particular plants and feeling their energy and being attracted to them. This is a lovely hazel tree that's a very young one growing. So I've reached that point in the journey where it's climb over the gate time. And for England, again, it's dry on the ground. Oh, really dry on the ground. There are some beautiful flowers which happen to be highly poisonous. And here are these two oak trees. We have the oak tree that is no longer alive, the skeleton alone remains, and right next to it we have this one here which is brimming full of life and leaf. And oak trees are for endurance, they endure what comes. And I can see this one is forming acorns. There we are. There's the acorns on the oak. A magnificent trunk. And so we're enjoying another hot English summer day. And another of the things I'm very passionate about is a view. I found this does my soul and my spirit immeasurable good, just by being able to look out at a view, at an aspect, at a distance. So I'm going to leave you here. Thanks very much for coming with me on this walk, and I'm going to simply immerse myself in the view and give myself another form of Duende.